Yeah, there we go. Hello and welcome to the Lich's Dregs, where we try to roleplay in Dungeons and Dragons for the first time. Nobody ever tried to roleplay before. And we watched those games, we can all confirm.
Hello.
We're doing presentation.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Let's do top right.
So I'm Mr. Max from the channel Reaction to Principal Gaming. I'm gonna be playing Kaharn Pa'up, North Ranger, I guess. Why would we do that? Why we don't just fucking get into it? Nicholas.
Yeah, my name is Nicholas. My channel is at Etera RPG. I'll be this guy, I guess.
My name's Calvin. My channel is Yekrep, and I'm going to be playing Omelette.
Perfect. I'm gonna be the Game Master Sonalar, so let's get going. The Lich has been defeated, and his minions are scattered across the realms. A generation has passed since his defeat. We follow the story of the surviving tribes who once served a higher master, now left to fend for themselves in a world where order and civilization does not welcome them. Out here, in the borderlands of civilization, pushing towards the deep forests, we have a group scouting outside the bounds of known territory into the unknown. Just as the borderlands abate of cracked dirt and grass covered floors, growing into shrubs and trees, the group sees an upside down tree painstakingly removed from the earth and the trunk rammed into the floor with the, what is the word? The Wurzel, with its live roots spread like a crown into the air, a sign of orc supremacy to not go past the tree, or there will be death. The group, the furthest place, orcs and goblins are allowed to travel before everything is off the table.
There's a sign, guys. Just a little further, and we'll start to see some meat.
I'm walking a bit low to the ground. My ears also arching down. I'm carrying a few dead rabbits around my neck. Yes, master. Yes. Let us proceed.
I'm kind of slouched over and sniffing in the air, trying to catch a whiff of any game nearby.
The air is dead. Signs
I look
visible in the tree trunk itself, carved in the language of orc.
I'm
I
standing up straight a bit, adjusting my belt, checking on my two little sword, my two gladius there. Say, we heard the rumor, right? There's like some knife here coming in close.
they wouldn't come too close to the camp. Ahmed, do you smell anything?
Knife ears would be a good meal.
On that
Yeah, too much cartilage. I start lumping a bit towards the felled tree.
The carvings becoming more noticeable. Big letters to ensure everybody knows. Stay out or be put down in Orcish. Smaller
I look
letters
back at my
on the side.
approaching the trunk. I remove the rabbits that are all tied in a knot through a rope, and I put my pointy finger on the smaller inscription to read it.
I
It says,
raise my nose to Rat Bastard. So what does it say, Rat?
My nose following around the inscriptions.
Mort was here. I will return a man. The name of an Orcish name. A message left behind.
Something from the tribe. Probably went hunting. I look back. Both Omelette and Kaharn.
Do you know that dude? Do you know that?
I itch my chin. I don't recall the name.
I shake my head without saying a word.
Yeah, the
Kaharn.
fool.
If he gets himself killed, it's less competition for you, master.
That
I
is
grin.
correct. But it's also less muscle when I take power.
I nod submissively, ears flopping.
Kaharn, roll intelligence to recall. Mort is a name given to an orc child. About a few days ago, he left for a journey to become a man and joined the tribe as a warrior. Left to bring back a bounty large enough to impress the other orcs, or be left to die.
All right, guys. You ready to go? Let's make yourself not heard. Be quiet, be silent. We're gonna go in recon mode.
I return back to where both Kaharn and Omelette are. Now, the rabbit's now dragging on the dirt. You wish to go after him?
I adjust the wolf pelt on my head and bring it down over my nose and begin slinking off past the upturned tree.
I crouch down near the mud. Look for tracks in the dirt, right? I look at Rat, I say, well, if the fool can make it out, it wasn't meant to be, right?
Yes. We should not suffer the weak, master.
Imprints in the mud still visible. Feet of footprints smaller than yours, but bigger than Red Bastard.
I point up on the track. And I say, guys, this is not a rescue mission. We send those youngling out to become men. If they don't make it, they weren't men, not orc material. But whatever got this thing, if it didn't make it up back, that's what we're after. We can use the skid as bait.
I start grinning and licking my lips. Yes, very clever. My head started looking around. Conrad, come here.
I scurry up to Rat Bastard and await his command.
I point with a very pointy finger. Smell the track.
I reach down and grab some of the foliage and dead leaves and breathe deeply into it.
Stench of piss. Orc in origin. Strong.
I've got the scent.
All right.
So.
The horizon filled with trees covering a hill, several hills, as the forest thickens in front of your eyes.
Those market signs, they're way too close to our center. We need to expand them. But we need to make sure that nobody else is foolish enough to come close to where we camp. Let's get moving, guy. And I start following the track.
What do you wish to do with the game master? I raise up the 4 rabbits.
I stop right where I'm at. I turn around. I look at Omelette. I look at Rat. Should we eat before going then?
I clasp my hands. Yes, that will be very good, very good.
You know, I'm always hungry.
All right, then. Let's fix a fire.
I drop the rabbits. I'll catch kindling. And I scurry away, running almost on 4s. Really long feet.
I start gutting and skinning the rabbits, preparing to skewer them.
I sit on a tree.
The sun batting down on your backs, standing at the zenith in the sky above. A clear day.
I sit on a fallen log. I taking one of my sword out, testing the edge with my thumb. Satisfied, I put it back.
After a while already, with a bunch of dry leaves and branches, I'm rubbing a piece of wood, a little smoke coming out.
As I'm skidding and gutting these rabbits, all the pieces that I know these other 2 won't eat, I just go ahead and throw them into my mouth and start scarfing them down.
I grab 2 branch. I grab 2 branch, a few branch, and I start chopping them up as to make spit to roast them, to roast the rabbit.
The rabbits in the Badlands, meager, without much meat on them, still finding a way to spread like cockroaches.
Yeah, the fire is good. I extend my hands very meekly to grab the spike.
I give them to Rat.
I go ahead. skewering them and preparing the roast.
I reach into my component pouch and fiddle around for something that might be usable as a seasoning, and kind of crush it up and sprinkle it across the rabbits.
Roasting and sizzling over the fire. The skin turning brown, some spots turning black.
Drinking a few swig from my water skin filled with like orcish ale.
I'm already handing out. I hand a full Scud rabbit to Kaharn. Yeah, master.
I grab it and I start biting it. Eat up, boys, you'll need your strength.
Yes, thanks. I grab one. I let Omelette serve himself. I'm eating very animalistically, squatting on the ground.
I gather up the little giblets and skin and bones and other things that weren't roasted, and start scarfing the rest of those things down.
A meal that will suffice for the day.
I'm already throwing dirt over the fire to cover the track.
As I'm finishing my first rabbit, I get up and reach for the second one. But I'm asking those guys. And I start like biting in them.
Red bastards. I drooped down my ears. I was going for the same rabbit, but I pulled my hand back and avoid eye contact. Say nothing. Is still already preparing to remove the tracks of the fire. Do you wish me to scout ahead, master?
Yeah, slapping my belly. That was a good meal. Could have been a little more fat. Those rabbits are pretty lean. We're ready, guys?
I look to you and nod my head.
All right, then. I go to Rat. I grab his cloaks and I wipe my hand with it. Let it go. All right, let's get going.
As soon as Carnes turns his back, the drip down ears, the meek position, the meek posture, I turn to full hatred. My ears perks up a bit. I look at Omelette and I nod. I follow. I start following behind him.
I begin moving out, almost on all fours, with my nose close enough to the ground that I can follow the trail of the scent.
The scent of the smoke from the fire perturbed the senses, but moving away from it, clearing up here and there, trickles of the scent from an orc that is not Kaharn. Hard to pinpoint as the fruits and smashed fruits on the floors and bird poop mix in with it.
Someone else has been here.
I crouch down close to the ground. I put one end down. And I attune my sense, like my ranger sense, like almost supernatural, right? Basically supernatural. I'm just like feeling around. there's any elf that were nearby.
I am rubbing my finger across the short bowl that's behind my back, just feeling it as they do their thing.
Trees now around the party, deeper in the forest. No sense of elves in the area.
I don't know. Seems gonna be a disappointing hunt, guys.
I lunge towards a tree and using my claws and bare feet, I monkishly starts climbing into the top. I'll see if I get a better vision. Pulling on branches, some of them creaking and snapping, dry leaves falling. I reach to the top, trying to get a better vision.
I walk up to the tree that Rat just climbed and look up at him.
I have my palm over my eyes, covering from the light.
Perception.
Um, 8, 9.
Trees everywhere. The whole across the hill, you see down a valley covered in treetops in all directions. Some different colors as the autumn is coming. The tree itself you've climbed on, bearing plums, edible fruit.
I my hands and my feet are wrapped around this this branch. Like they start crinkling. I see something. Look like night here hideout. Valley with many trees. And I look down to look on my party members. I'm grinning.
I started moving while you like almost as soon as you start climbing. I didn't wait for you. I just like kept going forward, following the track. Now I'm a few feet away, right? Quite a few feet away. Just ignore
I
you.
look at Omelette. I snarl a bit, like, and I kind of jumping from branch to branch, trying to Master Kaharn.
I extend my arms out to catch him if he falls or jumps down.
Red bastard, give me a dex acrobatics.
A 9.
A couple branches snap under the weight of your body.
I plummet down. It's like, almost as if a wet thud on the ground.
You go right between my arms.
I look at Omelette.
Flurry of leaves
snarling.
blowing up on impact.
I speaking in Goblin. Useless, listen.
I turn back, gnarling. I said, "Pipe down, you two." Playing on my nerve.
Ears drop down immediately. Sorry, master. I kind of, dragging myself up and stumbling a bit towards him. There seems to be a knife your hideout up ahead. I'm removing some of the dirt on me.
That will put me in a better mood.
Yes.
Before following after them, I grab one of the branches that snapped off the tree and see the little plums on it and I pocket 2 of them.
Okay. The sun moves. Trees everywhere. Animals scattering away from your presence. No sign of orc or elf.
I stop my hurried pace forward. I sit down on a log, a fallen log. I exhale loudly. This is a fucking wasted day.
Would drop on them on the dead of night, master. I'm trying to just walking around so in front of him for a few feet of distance, making myself look really meek.
We've been
I-
walking all day. We haven't come across anybody, and now, like, there's barely any trace anymore.
I saw a valley. It could still be there somewhere. I look at Omelette.
I walk up to Karen's feet and sort of curl up like a cat laying on the ground.
Do you wish to camp?
You saw a valley, you said, right? Was there any
I nod.
smoke? Was there any building? Was there any noise? Was there anything to go by? Just a valley of fucking wild. What do you think?
The dream seemed a bit livelier. You know how the knife ears love them trees.
Seem you're not going on by much. It's like following a valley. It's mountain and valley and stream. It's everywhere.
Master, they wouldn't light a fire so close to our camp.
The scent of a dead rat catches your nostril, Omelette.
I perk up a little bit and start glancing around and sniffing.
What's
Trying
happening,
to
boy?
determine the direction. I smell something rotting.
Oh,
My
you
ears
love those.
perch up. Could be an animal hunting, but my hand is going for my one of my daggers, my bone daggers.
The scent is off a ways to your west.
I start making my way west, trying to keep the scent.
I stretch my leg, looking at the omelette going away. Lean back.
I'll go after him, master. I'll be back shortly. I'm walking away slowly, still waiting for a confirmation.
Passing some bushes that cover the underbrush of the forest. Spotting what appears to be a dead rat mingled between a floor of dead leaves, as everywhere else in the forest covered in dead leaves.
I pick it up between my claws by the tail and give it a sniff and kind of
There's
decide
a
whether it's
loud snatching noise. Make a dex saving throw.
I hear something.
Pulling up the rat, you see a string, rope, pulling up, and tensed tree branches slinging up a long piece of rope, pulling nothing into the air, almost around your breast.
It's a hunter snare. Looking at the loop of rope as it dangles in front of me. These must be someone's hunting grounds. We're getting closer.
You muted, red bastard.
I'm crawling on the ground on all fours, a little bit behind Omelette. Do you smell anything else? I'm speaking in Goblin with him.
I take out my kukri and I slice off a piece of the rope and bring it up to my nose and start breathing in deeply.
I'm sitting on my log, drinking some from my wineskin, well, my ale skin. Just relaxing a bit.
The rope smelling of hemp, touched by man.
Humans.
Oh, I start grinning. I'll inform Kaharn. That might lighten up his mood. Do not move. I point my finger and I walking on two now. I hurry back to the log, dodging
nod to
trees,
that.
jumping some roots.
As
I'm
he's
sitting
walking
there
away,
drinking.
I kind of brush away any leaves in the area to try to see if I can expose more of the mechanism for the snare.
A carefully placed log to hold a counterweight for the rope itself. Disturbed when moving the rats.
I jump from the sun on one tree. Master Kaharn! Once again, my ears drip down. I curve myself slightly. We found trap made by men.
I put the stopper back on my wineskin. I swipe some of the ale that drooped from my lips. I say, man. And I stand up.
Yes.
That was I in the mood for, but it's better than nothing, right? And I heard that they can. Orcs and men can make half orc. I'd be curious to try that. Let's go.
I'm nodding. Yes, this way, and I'm more running on fours now.
Follow behind him, slowly.
Dodging jumping
literally
over
brave.
roots.
I watch the two of them as they approach and call out, "Over here, master."
I let Kaharn go up ahead to meet him.
I put my hand on the wolf belt of Omelette and I kind of pet him. A good boy. What you found there?
I do my best impression of a smile, and I just bare my teeth.
Do you know the direction, Omelette?
I look in every direction and sniff through the air and looking for smoke or any sign of human camps.
Give me a survival.
I study like the hunter snare, looking at the manufacturer, how they did it, evaluating the craftsmanship.
The rope is the most impressive part. It appears to be of decent quality, built to last, to tie knots and untie hundreds of times.
Right. We should keep that rope. It's good rope.
Yes. I'll carry it for you, master. I start climbing once again the tree to untie the knot and make a coil out of the rope.
The length is 30 foot. Omelette, you following scent of man. There are some marks on the tree itself, carved like an X, a sign to recognize where the trap has been planted to recover, probably in a day or two. Most likely the next morning to avoid any other predator catching whatever got caught in the trap.
Noticing the carvings, I look out to the other trees and check them for carvings as well.
Looking to the air, almost like to myself, I say like, if the hunting close nearby, they must have a camp, right? Just like nobody goes too far to hunt. They must have other traps.
I approaching with this large coiled up rope. Yes, and they dislike the darkness too. They can't be far.
I move to the next tree that's marked, and I say, "This way."
It takes a good few dozen trees before another's marked again.
Start like moving toward Omelette. Silently, as silent as I can. In the underbrush. I go where the next mark is. Look around, looking for another trap. Another snare.
A little bit behind Kaharn. Master, it just came to me. What if we counter trap him? We
You
can
mean an
wait.
ambush? We wait until they come relieve the trap. Then we ambush them.
Yeah. Yes. Nodding enthusiastically.
I look to the two of them and I ask, "Am I the bait?"
I point to Omelette. They're probably after some hunt. We can use belt. I point a little bit up.
I take the wolf pelt off my head and kind of flop it out nice and flat on the ground.
Kaharn,
That
this
should
trap holds game inside, a rabbit caught and snared.
I point to it. So they should come to get this rabbit. Although, we could also keep it for ourselves. Look at a rat.
We could
Might
get
be
rabbit, but we forget man. There's more meat. And spoils too. They always carry shinies.
I lick my chops at the thought of man flesh.
The rabbit, exhausted, twists and contorts at the sounds of talking, trying to get free, but a hind leg stuck in the loop fast, dangling in the air.
I look at the display a bit like chuckling to myself. We boys should avoid any fire if we want to, not scare the men away. We can probably ambush them. They don't have great sense of sight, from what I understand.
I'm nodding. Yes, yes. And even omelette can fake to be a even greater game. A boar, a bang.
I look around the trap for a tree that would be appropriate to climb for them to ambush from.
On
What
top
do you
of the
say,
tree,
master?
on top of the tree, it looks like the bark has been scratched off, like somebody else already climbed it before you a few days ago.
I look up the tree and look for like a platform or a little nest that maybe someone would sit in while stalking prey.
No nest, but good climbable branches to get an overlook over the valley.
I grab one of my wineskin and I slush it around, and then I look at the sky, trying to judge by the sun how much day left is.
Afternoon.
So they're probably not gonna come until the morning. And men don't like to walk at night. If we wait for them here, we might be, well, they're probably gonna be just one or two coming. It's gonna be easy prey. But if we can find back the camp, we might find them asleep. And there might be more of them.
My ears perch up. Oh, master. Men usually hunt with beasts too, hounds. They
It's gonna be
have better
fire to a
eyes and
dragon.
ears.
But we have
We could,
our own home there, right? And
I look back and forth. But if we capture one, we can make him talk, give more information. How many? After he speaks, we can kill him.
what do you think, Omelette? Can you smell the track back to their camp?
I look around. Actually I go to the tree that the bark's been scraped away and try to smell for the climber who recently climbed it.
Smell of orc. Again. You remember it from earlier.
Doesn't smell like a human. Smells like an orc.
I approach him, adjusting the coiled rope around my neck. Not human. And I look back at Connor. Perhaps it's Morgs.
Who the fuck care about this fucking fool? There's human to be had. That's what I'm interested in now. I'm a
Master,
hunter. I'm not a babysitter.
I nod. Then hunt we will. Start licking my lips, revealing pointy teeth.
I go to the tree where the marks are. And I start getting serious. And I start like actually applying my skill instead of like just and I look at the track, go down the ground, judge by how long ago they were, look around the traps, trying to find like sign of any broken branch, that's signs of passage, determining how many people came by, how long ago, applying my skill. Maybe it's best if we just wait until the morning. I grab my wineskin again, take out the screw, take a swig, starting to be affected by it.
Scraped off bark, obvious on the tree, like somebody pulled himself up there for an overview. The signs of footprints of whoever laid the trap moving away from it. A signs of age, hard to tell.
I look around, I spot a little bit of like bush, a little bit of like a smaller tree, coniferous, stuff like that. So we could use that as a boat of a shelter and a hiding spot. If we want to wait here.
I nod. I take the coil around and present. Do you wish to prepare a trap? We don't.
Trap?
We will not expect it.
Why don't we just stick to the classic? Just jump in when they show up. I move toward the spot I pointed. I take a step like on the side, like clearly I started drinking too much.
Very well, master. Very well. Putting it back. I look at
I make my way over to the. I make my way over to the trees and begin hacking at the base of the tree to try to topple it over and create a little shelter.
Only a matter of time, Omelette.
I walk up to Kaharn. Why don't master take a little rest? Let us do the vigilance. We'll keep our eyes open.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. And I get close to the bush, and then I bend down to lie down a bit under like a coniferous tree, and just a few inches from the ground, I stop like lying down and just crash.
My curved over posture, fix my back, my ears perch up. I'm looking down at Kaharn. I have my thumb rubbing against the hilt of my dagger, just looking at him. And I scurry off to a nearby tree, start climbing it.
Rat, are you taking the first watch?
I look at Oma on a low voice, now in Goblin. Yes. Perhaps become a beast You hide well as beast.
I nod to him. I coil up at Karen's feet and point my nose out towards Rat and kind of watch him for just a little while.
After I make my way up to a tree, I position myself in a way where I am laying almost as a cat on a pole, resting but still awake, looking around. My ears twitch every now and then.
The sun moves and reaches the horizon, turning everything into twilight.
I'm now sitting with my back against the base of the trunk. I sniff the air a bit. I jump down. Comrade.
I stir and make eye contact with Rat.
First, my eyes glowing like a cat's eye in the dark a bit. I quickly look at Kaharn, see if he's sleeping.
I'm
Reading
snoring,
his...
despite like sleeping on my belly, the face in the dirt. I've still managed to snore.
Look back at Omelette. Stewing Goblin, very, very hushed tones. You do a watch now. I also need rest.
I nod to Rat and get up and go towards the area where he was watching from.
My hand clasps your ankle.
I
Just
stop.
I make a gesture so he can get closer to me.
I lean in.
Listen. Kahan is master, but War Chief is bigger master. Remember. Still speaking in Goblin.
I kind of have a blank expression, but I nod anyways.
I'm nodding to him. I was the one who protected your egg. I point. Now, go.
I wait for him to release my leg, and I stand there for a moment before walking slowly towards the tree.
I see like 8 feet away from car. Rest my back on another tree. My face still turned towards him, but I slowly start drifting.
With the passage of time, signs become more noticeable. Omelets, markings on trees. They look like normal bark growth, except somebody modified them.
Noticing the bark, I have another look at it. I go up to the one I can see that's nearest by.
The bark itself looks to be much thicker than usual, slightly splintering off the tree to grow over each other again and again in a weaving pattern, making it extremely dense.
I try to recall what natural or magical phenomenon causes this to happen.
This is feel free to roll a check on this. Arcana, nature, whichever you like.
I'm getting agitated in my sleep, mumbling a bit, turning around.
It is not natural. It's like a gardener playing with the tree. Nothing an orc would do, that's for sure.
I grab a small piece of the thickened bark and tuck it into my pouch.
It resists your pull, does not break off.
I take out my kukri and kind of dig the tip of the blade into the bark and try to pry it off.
It takes considerable effort to remove the bark, but it can be done.
Do you sleep in a sitting position against a tree, not moving, if by the occasional ear twitch?
The sun disappears. A sickle in the sky, barely illuminating, sending a haunting light across the forest, with only a few beams pushing through the branches.
I'm starting to get kind of hungry. I look at the rabbit that's still dangling in its snare. See if it's
It
still
stopped.
moving.
It stopped twitching, hanging there. Every now and again, its leg tries to kick, but now too exhausted.
I wake up, grumbling a bit. I reach for my wineskin, take off the cork, take a swig, I look around with like small eyes. Put the cork back on. I stand up, move a few paces from where I was sleeping, just a few paces. Take a piss.
The steam rises from the
Hearing
street.
hearing the noise, I glance over at Kaharn and I climb down from my vantage point and approach him.
I nod to him as I put my cock back in. So you need some rest too, boy? I can take a watch.
I lower my head and say, "Yes, master."
Go have some shut eyes.
I walk over to the spot where he was resting, where the ground is still a little bit warm, and curl up like a cat.
There
I
appears
find
to
like
It's
be
the
there appear to be many bugs scurrying away as you start to lay down.
the light shifting around. I slowly open my eyes, looking around. I see Kaharn taking the spot, and I kind of start rolling my shoulders in silence. But I pretend to be sleeping still.
find a spot like under a tree that's a bit cover, and I go like sit down by there. I take some dry ration from my bag, and I start like chewing on them. It's like hard leather, slowly chewing while I watch the snare, looking at the rabbit. I pick up a little
Which is
pebble and I throw it, trying to hit the rabbit.
the rabbit futilely trying to run away and twitching. This time exhausted much faster.
I
The night sky
chuckle to myself.
the night sky filling with the noise of animals, hooting of howls, the chirping of insects, the howls of wolves, and another animal, louder with a deeper rumbling.
My ears now fully perched up. I stand up and put my hand on my side just to confirm the rope still coiled up around the tree. I'm trying to recognize the deeper rumble.
Survival.
Looking around. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Survival to recognize.
I I twitch my head one side to the other. I'm kind of slightly kick the dirt in frustration.
Something
And
bigger than a wolf.
I'm
I
crawling towards Kaharn.
I'm sitting there like still like slowly, very slowly chewing to this like hard leather thing, and I'm taking one bite like after like big long space between each one. Right, I'm doing that mostly to kill time. I look at Rat. So you awake?
Hear the noise. Big beast. Cannot tell what it is though. Maybe a warg. I'm looking around, still like on fours on the ground.
You sure it wasn't the man?
Too beast-like. Definitely a creature.
That could be
Could be
interesting.
attracted by some of the catch.
That could be interesting. If the man shows up in the same time.
The howling of the wolves. The howling of the wolves stopped after the roar. Now silence in the forest. Complete silence.
That's not good. I break the silence. My ears almost like cats trying to find the direction of the sound.
Roll up perception.
Hey, 14.
Far in the distance, sounding of a tree falling over.
My head jolts toward that direction. A tree fell down. I have my hand on my short sword's hilt now. Over there.
And you were there to hear it,
Something.
right?
It's something big, Master.
You think it's something knocking trees down?
It has to.
I
I
look
didn't hear any
around.
chopping.
I look around for I find like a dead standing tree. A small dead standing tree. I walk to it and say, tree falls around all the time, and I start pushing on the tree, like rocking it back and forth until it crack and fall. Go wake up, Omelette.
Yes. I back away 5 steps and then turn my back, kind of scutter towards Omelette. Omelette, wake up!
I only just got to sleep and I stir awake, a little dazed.
There's something big in the woods, felling trees.
I perk up and look around.
I point towards the direction. Over there. I heard something. Be ready for bloodshed.
I turn toward the other two. A few step away, and I say loudly, I told you we should have fucking tried to find the camp last night. Instead of waiting here, wasting time. The man didn't show up yet. He's out now.
Maybe the beast got him.
The beast.
My ears dropping down.
What beast would that
Don't. I look around without an answer. We're still new to this park. There could be something we don't know.
be? I spent my whole life tracking in the wood. There's not much I don't know.
I start rubbing my hands a bit nervously. That could be dangerous, Master.
I try to make myself as hidden as possible, and kind of hide in the overturned tree in the shelter that we made.
I look at that. I look at those two, right, back and forth. I say, "Stop going around, and let's go looking for those human." And I go.
I look at Omelette.
I go to where near where the trap is, and I try to pick up on track again, see if I can do better than I did last night. The track won't be as fresh, but maybe I had better luck, but still can find anything.
I run towards Omelette. Omelette, become bird. Look for fire.
I shake my head at him. I can't.
In the silence of the woods, with no animals chirping or howling, a scream of a child can be heard far in the distance. Faintly,
I once again turn towards direction. Must be the child. The orc. Something did
Where's
get
the
him.
Poor fool. That's our bait, I guess. Let's go see
Good.
what got him, and let's go get what got him.
Yes. I go forwards again, start like crawling, going, trying always to be behind a tree as much as possible, going towards the direction.
I go in the
For
same
mankind,
direction.
for mankind, it is pitch black, with slivers of moonshine illuminating the edges of tree trunks. For the feral beasts, not a problem, covered in tones of grey of the dark vision. Another scream, but still far out.
I'm following behind those two, much more casual in my pace than I probably should. Just walking like if I'm taking a hike.
I pick up my pace.
Shouldn't be much farther. I stop behind a thicker tree, and once again I jump, climbing it, trying to see a bit more up ahead.
I look at
Some
rat climbing
barks drop.
and I shake my head. Say, oh, when are you gonna try that trick? At some point, you gotta fucking learn how forest works. You can't see shit from up there.
Roll perception with disadvantage.
I a low grumble, and but I don't climb down. I try to continue going forward, from branch to branch. That don't need to jump. That is close enough to reach out.
Omelette.
I continue at a much faster pace than before, dashing from cover to cover in the bushes.
The scent of blood comes to you.
I'm still like following behind Omelette, walking like I'm just like taking a stroll, right? Just darting an eyes at the rat once in a while, shaking my head.
I try to determine what kind of scent of blood it is.
Orc. And something else.
I keep on the trail.
I'm still climbing from branch to branch, almost like a sloth, but a bit faster. Every now and then, a snap or a crack can be heard.
Now, in earshot, another tree falling far away, but audible to the group. In the direction of the blood.
I pull my bow from my back, just holding in my right hand now, on top of the tree.
I freeze in place and don't even breathe.
I keep walking, and I'm allowed now to catch up to Omelette that was a few paces ahead. And then I stop next to him. You heard that? Now there's a tree falling again. I'll raise my head to the canopy of the trees, looking at the branch. It's not a windy day.
I respond to him in a very low tone, and I say, Master, it could be dangerous.
For whatever's out there, yes.
The ground rumbles for a short second. Leaves start falling from the trees.
My left hand clasps the branch I'm perched on top of. My eyes glowing in the dark. Looking around.
It rumbles again. Now shuddering the branches itself as they shake. The rustling of leaves filling the air. And another rumble.
I'm
They're
rolling
getting
my
louder.
shoulder, cracking my neck, like limbering up. I draw my two swords, twirl them a bit for the balance. All right. After I be wasted, maybe we can have some action today.
I reach out and place my hand on Kaharn, and I say, Master, be careful. And as I press my fingertip on him, I chant Marga, and the spot where my finger touched him glows briefly.
I'm a bit up above to the right of them on the branches, looking down at them, bow in hand still.
Another rumble. Whatever it is coming closer as another tree falls just outside your vision in the darkness. It's half in your general direction.
I crouch down and start like moving, trying to be stealthy. Like I try to circle to the right, going near like the tree, kind of like
A stealth
moving
check.
in the same time moving towards and away from the noise. Stepping on every branch there is.
Incredibly dry.
I-
Branches snapping, flinging into the air,
My
rustling
feet
all of the way on the way.
hit a rock and I miss a step, falling a knee to the ground.
I mutter under a very, very low breath. Useless drunkard. I'm trying to.
Now,
I pull out a small arrow, holding it on the string.
Omelette.
I keep my eyes fixed on the direction of the noise.
I get one of my
Breaking-
short sword, I plant to the ground, and I grab the stone that I just tripped on, and I throw it in the direction of the noise in frustration. Get my sword back.
Another scream of a boy as trees are pushed aside and give vision to a creature humongous, almost the size of the bigger trees around here, around 25 feet tall. It's covered in scales. Its front legs the size of a dragon. A large neck visible. The head up in the trays. The sound of an orc coming from up there as well. As a second neck pokes through, and a third, and a fourth. A multi-headed creature. Now one head pushing and turning in the direction of Kaharn, of this what is known as a Hydra.
I immediately pull the arrow, put the arrow back in the quiver, and starts almost shakingly like backing away to into inside the tree in silence.
Stealth check.
A 11.
Okay. Omelette.
I see that my master's out in the open, and this creature's locked eyes on him, and I call out to him. I say, "Master, you must flee."
I turn around and I start running like from where we came from. I say, "Yeah, there's too many head for all of us." Start running.
Crying in Orcish, you hear, "Help!" Cracked voice of a teenager from up in the trees as all heads turn to Kaharn, 5 to be exact. One of them holding what appears to be more in his mouth, with a limp hatchet in his hand. Now the creature running after Kaharn, gaining some distance. That bastard.
I am trying to mash myself in between the leaves, as motionless as I can, trying not to breathe. Ears though, trying to perceive everything that's happening. I'm breathing in heavy though.
As it charges for Kaharn, I charge towards it, and the pelt on my head starts to meld into my skin, and I transform into a brown bear, and I position myself between it and Kaharn and growl at it.
Kaharn.
I turn around, just over my head, over my shoulder. I say, "Omelette, let's get out of there." There's no point wasting our life there. I keep running.
The Hydra coming closer to Omelette, charging towards you. One of its head looking down at the bear, licking its lips with large fangs. this huge monster looking ready to devour some bear. Almost at your position, Omelette. Red bastard.
My ears are moving all around, trying to paint a picture in my brain of what's going on. After some of the hearing Kaharn running away, I jump from the tree and I beeline in a straight direction away from the Hydra, dodging the trees, running on all fours.
The Hydra not looking in your direction at all, focusing on the bear. Omelette.
I keep my eyes on the Hydra and begin moving backwards and try to rear up on my hind legs and spread out my paws to make myself look more intimidating and growl at it.
Roll intimidation. The Hydra growls back. Now 2 of its heads focused on you instead of 1. Easily doubling. Unimpressed. Kaharn.
I stop in my track. I turn toward the Hydra. Shake my head and say, "Man, I don't want to lose that lizard, dude. I'm not gonna find another one of those." And I raise my hand, put my sword down, I raise my hand, and I concentrate, and I get the vines and roots to grow and grasp at the leg of the Hydra. And thinking it in place.
Okay. The Hydra ready to snatch at Omelette, covered in vines, pulling against it. I forgot which spell this was. Does it take damage or is it stuck?
It's a strength saving throw or it's stuck.
Pulls against the vines. The first snatch just barely out of reach of Omelette, pulling off the 4 legs, trying to free itself. Rooted to the forest floors as the roots of the forest itself cover the legs. Red bastard. Help!
Joking,
Please!
jolting in between the trees. Every now and then I scrap my ear against the bark. A little bit of blood comes out. I'm trying to make a C shape so I can run away from the beast at the same time going back to the direction of the orc camp as fast as I can.
Easily a good 120 feet distance gained at this point. Just none of the party visible in the darkness of the night. Only the cries of help. Omelette.
I slow down and proceed, breathing in heavily, but drop myself and start crawling.
Okay.
but still
Omelette.
keeping the pace.
I see the vines binding this creature's legs, and I back away and turn towards Kaharn. I run towards him and stop at his side, and I motion with my head for him to latch on.
Which I do. I hop on Omelette's back and grab to this fur.
Another loud, now ear-piercing screech of the Hydra, the four open mouths, enraged at being trapped, trying to snap free of the vines. Crack, 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 crack. Stompings behind you, coming closer. Red Bastard, you hear the sounds of a Hydra chasing somebody.
I quick hot, trying to hear. I think to myself, must have gotten someone, and I continue on crawling. Now trying to be silent. I grab one or two arrows and I scatter, throw away, continue crawling.
Omelette,
I take off full speed as Karen sort of bounces on my back in the fluffy, fat layers of skin that I have.
give me an athletics. Add the bonus of your bear. The Hydra. Oh, Kaharn.
23.
Oh, I'm just holding on to the to Omelette, keeping my head low to avoid the branches. That's a good boy.
Trees now between the Hydra and its prey. Infuriated, pushing away the smaller trees as the dense forest gets in the way. Breaking several of them in rapid succession. Now, back on your heels, one of its heads coming close enough to give you a bite. $16.
Yeah,
That's
it.
For 13 damage, piercing into your rear, pulling off some of the fur. Red Bastard.
It's been a while now, crawling at this faster pace. I stop. My breath producing steam from the cold night, and I lay on the ground on the dirt, breathing heavily, just eyes closed, only ears, trying to see if I can hear if I'm far enough from the beast.
The sound of a snatching jaw biting something. Far away to be in safe distance.
I cannot drag myself, like holding on to some roots. A bit tired now, but crawling away from the sound, biting
Omelette.
my lip, blood coming out.
I let out a growl of pain and look for a tree to try to get an obstacle between me and the approaching monster.
Plenty of trees that fit that description.
I run towards the largest clump and try to squeeze through a narrow gap.
Give me a roll. Kaharn.
I turn around as Omelette is fleeing and look at the Hydra. I say, I'm not sure if we'll be able to outrun it. And I get one of my hand, point toward the Hydra, and I kind of like draw a mark in the air, concentrating. And I mark the Hydra with my hunter's mark, grabbing back on the fur, hoping that we can still outrun it.
The symbol appearing on its neck, glowing up, and then slowly fading away. The Hydra pushing into the cluster of trees, covering its way. The heads themselves trying to snake through to get another bite, stuck just in time. Its shoulders between two thick tree trunks as it reaches its paws out to break them aside. Botching slightly and then getting stuck again as the branches are all intertwined like a net. You gain distance. Red bastard. Sounds of fights happening in the distance, far away from your location.
I turn my head towards the direction, speaking in Goblin. Dark gods, Kaharn, and start to running, keep running away until I hoping to get a distance where I can hear no more.
Omelette.
Responding to Karen, I say, I don't say. I come to a little bit slower of a trot, and I turn around and see the Hydra as it's trying to claw its way through those trees. I turn my head to the orc riding my back and look him in the face.
I look back, I say, you want to try to get that thing? That'd be a nice trophy. It's a lot of heads.
I made sort of like a grunt.
Let's get it.
Born.
I'm just waiting for the charge.
Omelette. Go ahead.
I let out a loud roar and I charge in towards the Hydra, and I rake at it with my claws and bite at it with my teeth.
One of the heads snaked through the trees closest to you in comparison to the main trunk of the body.
Let's see.
I roll your attack when you can.
That is 14.
The scales are too tough for your teeth. You slip off on the on his skin, not finding purchase as it avoids your attack. Kaharn,
I jump off the back of Omelette with my sword in hand, and I try to strike with each one. My two-sword sword. 16
a hit.
and 15.
A hit.
No. 22 damage. I managed to give a few slash with each hand to the creature. The place in the neck where my mark was, it's like slightly shining again, blood pouring out.
A loud screeching winds from the one Hydra head struck, bleeding heavily. Your forearms covered, glistening in the purple blood shine of the moonlight reflecting. It's really pissed now and bites down towards you, Kaharn. A couple heads still stuck in the trees. A second one weaves towards you. One striking at Kaharn, the other at Omelette. Digging deep into your shoulder. For 15 damage. Omelette, the other head, racing towards you, biting. For 18.
Hits.
$13 damage. The orc boy trying to grasp for branches, with the Hydra distracted, to pull himself free. As well, nobody's looking. Red bastard.
I am only hearing faintly, echoing in the dead of night, the sound of battle. I once again sit down on the dirt, breathing heavily, itching my scratched ear. And I look around and I find a a big tree with very outwards roots. I drag myself close to it. I'm very tiredly, I with both hands start scooping some dirt, trying to dig a little burrow, breathing in heavy with each stroke of the dirt being pulled.
I want an athletics.
A 21.
Without much
I'm-
effort, you achieve your goals. The soil loose and softened up.
I scurry myself inside the hole, and I grab a centipede walking by, and I start munching on it.
It wiggles inside your mouth. Omelette.
I I wince in pain from the hydra head that bit me, and I try to bite it back and dig my claws into it. That's 8, 20, and 25.
Two of them hit.
I dig my claws in on its face and start wrestling my mouth around its mouth and chewing on its jowls and on its cheek.
The hydra screeching in pain as your jaw penetrates at the muscly bare jaw snapping shut, whole head covered in blood. $14, okay.
It'll be 14 plus 8, 22.
22, okay. Kaharn.
I'm wiggling in pain from like yelling like, "Ah, the bitch got me good," and I try like to stab like the head biting on me with both my sword for a 15 and 17.
That hits both.
$20 damage. 20 no, that 24 damage.
It's a death blow to the head.
So I managed like to swipe with my sword. One of them like go straight to the skull, and I twist and the blood gush. The jaw release from my shoulder.
The head itself going limp, screeching out, and then gurgling on its own blood as it slumps to the forest floor. The hydra. Another head snakes through the trees it's stuck in. Now the second head biting at Kaharn. Striking you. That is 11 damage.
The fang like pierced through my leather armor, and I let a big yell, and my hands open, my sword fall to the ground. I go limp from the pain.
The other head, in pain, biting at Omelette. Missing you. Red bastard.
My respiration is now at a regular pace, and I am chewing on my fingernails nervously.
A loud screech of the Hydra in pain as the screech suddenly stops and gurgles on its own blood.
I let go. Our bastard's gonna win. We're still
Omelette.
just trying to piece things together through sound.
Still wrestling with the head that first bit me and who I first bit. I'm gonna try to dig my claws into its face and bite and chew on it. 25, 19, 9.
2 hits.
$14 damage, piercing.
A death blow to the head.
I dig one claw into its mouth, pulling it off of me. I bite it on the side of its neck, and the head goes limp.
Kaharn. Death saving throw.
On the ground, I come back to my senses, open my eyes, seeing what's happening. Not moving yet.
Another head screeching out in pain and going limp as a bear tears it from one end to the other, appearing on the other side in a mist of blood in your cone of vision. The Hydra yelping out loud as the stump where one head was bitten off starts growing. 2 new heads in place, slowly snaking up. The creature pushing off from the tree trunks and yelling out at the bear as it turns around and tramples off, giving you an attack of opportunity, Omelette.
I swipe out at the creature with one of my claws. $25.
Strike.
$8.
Leaving a mark on its flank as it tramples away from you, gaining enough distance to disappear with dark vision only covering so much ground. And then the orc falls from the tree to the 4th floor next to you. And we're gonna end the session for tonight here.
All right.
Yeah.
2-hour
Well,
mark. Wow. There we go.
There you go. Now I'm at 1 HP.
All right, so let's have some after game chats. Gonna have some time to discuss what happened or what we
Yes.
want to happen, or
Yeah.
if there are, like, any weird rules we need to clarify. First of all, my first thought is, wow, I need to get better at like catching up clues when you guys want to skip time. I feel like you wanted to go
Yeah.
to sleep multiple times, and I was being a bit slow on the uptake of like, okay, they want me to advance.
That's something we ended up not talking about, right? On session 0.
No.
Time skip.
So, and that's something that we did a lot in this session.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a role play moment though that I thought was nice that wouldn't have happened if we time skipped it, because Rat Bastard sort of revealed some of his resentment towards Kaharn. I should have probably talked to you about how to pronounce your character's name a little bit better before we started too.
Kaharn.
Kaharn.
Horn.
No, you do what you can with your lizard mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not all syllables are possible. Not all phonemes.
I'll just pronounce it.
Yeah. What we often what we kind of discuss with for the time skip in our the game, right? Usually what we try to do when we want to signal, right? If when you go around and you're ready for a time skip, you just do like what we call an anchoring action, right? So you just do like a meaningless action, like that include like I'm not doing anything important there.
Yeah.
And once everybody like did that, once you go around and it'll be like took like this kind of anchoring action, right? Like I'm sitting down and just like wasting time basically, then that means like, okay, we're all okay for time skip. That's kind of like the signal usually, like, if I'm just like sitting on a log drinking, that's my signal, like I'm okay for a time skip. If you want to keep going, you can. Doesn't mean that you have to follow my lead, right? But like I'm not doing anything important now, so we can,
Right.
So I'm having those idea of like those kind of thing, right? Was Praveen.
Well, go ahead. Tell me what you thought of the session. I haven't GM'd in I think like since November, actually. So I felt, a couple plans fell through. The robot game and the basin one didn't manifest. So we ended up having a bigger time, not time skip. Yeah.
I like the dynamic of the party. I think that's interesting. Outgoing, right? Everybody like having this kind of relationship that kind of Rat Bastard want to rope Omelette on his side, but Omelette seemed to be quite loyal, and like my character like just like seeing like Rat Bastard as very replaceable, but Omelette a bit like, this guy's kind of rare and it's kind of useful. Goblin, you can take another one. I can go back to and pick another one, right? Just
that was the high point for me, I think, too. Trying to think like Red Bastard would think,
Yeah.
Wow, we actually have people in the comments. I didn't even see that. I wasn't looking.
Do you guys are you facing delay right now, by the way? Because I have like a huge video to sound delay.
Oh, that's OBS. Sometimes it does that. Like, say something.
I don't know.
Hello. If I leave and come back again, will it fix?
No.
Is it everyone or just one person has a delay?
Everyone. Like I feel like I'm in a time capsule or something.
I don't
And
I
think
guess
you can
it
see
was
this
just
now.
we just have to live with it for now.
Yeah, some people like drop by. Hello, everybody. They were saying hi. Is Omelette a lizard-folk shaman? Is
Yeah, he's a
Shaman, yeah.
showman.
shaman.
The greatest shaman, if you will.
Yeah, is a druid. Good to see everyone joining the void. And RPG
Auntie.
GM Exile as a game tonight, I guess. As a barber, I love to see this every stage of beard grow. Yeah. Well, we missed some right now. Like there's nobody like rocking the big beard at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The full on. Alfonso I catch the VOD later.
Nice,
And
nice.
CPS say hello. Just got back to the PC and missed the wrap up.
We're
There was a delay
still
in
here.
there. I saw.
Yeah, we're still on it.
Yeah, we're still doing the wrap up. Well, we're doing that.
Yeah.
But like the conclusion of the
No.
session, it kind of finished on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when the beast showed up, because in my head I thought like it's gonna be like an owlbear or something like medium,
Yeah.
like big to medium size, And like freaking hide him, like nope, right next to him. Not even he's out, I thought that if it were like a smaller creature, I think he would try to shoot Karn's leg just to let him be taken, but like with an Hydra, like it's too risky to even try that. So like survive now, think about tomorrow.
I mean, generally, like not much happened on screen, right? Because in my head, I know what happens if nobody acts. So if just tomorrow appears, I know what you're going to see. But then we were kind of like stuck in the night because I'm trying to like move it segmented. Now it's twilight. Now it's deep of the darkness. You can hear. What can you actually hear? Like there are wolves around. There's lots of animals, birds of prey, and then the monster.
I got confused because at some point I thought like when I woke up and Rat woke up, like I thought it was the morning. I don't know why. At some point, like maybe it's like the twilight that got me confused. So I thought the day came, right? So at some point,
did I use the wrong word? Is twilight the evening or
twilight is
dusk the evening?
Evening.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah, twilight is both dusk and dawn.
Technically.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We had the sun actually went down, and now it's like the twilight time. And then I did another time skip of it's like the witching hour, absolute darkness, except like a slight sliver.
When you did this time skip, like it kind of like took me a breath, right? And because I was saying like, oh, the men didn't came yet, like, and like I would get impatient and say like we should go see them, right? And like, oh, we should have like on them at night. I gave like a lot of cue, like saying like clearly I think it's morning, but then at some point, like, and I was like,
oh, I did not catch that. I thought,
really?
I
missed
like,
that. I knew you wanted to go, so I was like, oh, he wants to hunt in the night. Okay, yeah, sure, we can do that.
No, I thought it was.
We all seeing it, so
I thought we had skipped the day
out as well.
right? Yeah, but then I just did and I said, oh, okay, it's night, I guess. But
yeah, later on, I like people were looking around that tried to enforce dark vision is 60 feet. That's what you see, even if you look from the trees. That's not much. It's like a house.
Yeah, I got that, but I was expecting more to see like. Oh, sorry. I was more expecting to see light or smoke, something like that would signify a camp more than actual sight.
I think when you tried several times, you rolled like a 2 and a 4.
Yeah.
So it's like,
there
are signals, you miss all of them type of deal.
Yeah. I felt like there was a trail of breadcrumbs and we just weren't finding them.
yeah, that was the hill thing, but it happens.
But that's also the thing with especially like because we can also talk about the system, right? Like this thing, like
swinginess.
The whole thing was exactly the swinginess, right? Doesn't help, like just like you're trying to do something that you're probably supposed to be good at somewhat, right?
Yes.
And then like you roll a 2 or 3,
like
stuff like
fell
that.
down,
and then
you
like
don't see the forest for the trees, literally.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to catch me, and I forgot that when I had already narrated, I fell down, and I was like, oh, he was about to catch me, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I had
I
forgotten.
was trying to give you leeway of like a branch cracks off, but like another branch will catch you. Like there's no big consequence. But I just was
Yeah,
like, no,
but I
I
was
cannot
wondering why
move
you made
you.
me
I'm
roll
just
like there.
moving the... Go ahead.
The delay is yeah, but there was like two or three moments that I thought like, why is he asking me to roll here? Like I was just doing like something very basic, and you asked me like when I was digging, you asked the Constitution like what does it matter now? Like unless like there's nobody after me, you know, like but I went with it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess
There's also
Ellie,
like
at
a
that moment, I think I was just asking like a failure would be more like your fingers stop bleeding or something, you know, as you think.
Okay, yeah,
But
like
it
a
was right.
low stake failure,
It
I
was
guess.
not really, unless the Hydra
Yeah.
literally walks in your direction, it would not matter.
yeah.
Yeah,
There-
that's my thought process. Oh,
There's also like the system in itself, right? Also like sometimes like when we did the spell, right? And at some point like, well, now like it's a bit complex, right? And you have like this spell like then I don't roll, but then you have to roll. So like when the
Yes.
when the mechanical burden is shared like that, right? Like if it was me to roll for my spell, like in a normal system, right? I could just describe me failing or stuff like that. But now like not only like I have to know what the spell do, but you have to know, and you have to catch my drift
Yes.
when I'm trying to express it in the more narrative manner, right? Same thing when Calvin did the guidance thing, right? And I saw that in the private
The
chat way
private chat.
later. But like, how do you express that?
Oh.
And then like even that, like I think guidance give me like a bonus D4 on my next roll, something like that. But I think, right? I kind of have to recall it. So if you don't want to
Yeah.
talk too much about like mechanics, right? You kind of like, and I end up not rolling, I think. So it's kind of wasted. I end up doing nothing.
Yeah, I think like the next roll you did, that was a literal 2. So guidance
Yeah.
would not have changed anything.
Nope.
I just imagine that he did it on purpose. He was out there just hard charging, confident, a little cocky, just
Yeah.
stomping through the trees. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's also kind of what I was going for with this guy. Right? Just kind of like, he's not very bright.
Yakrep, I
Some
want
of
to
those
know
yeah.
more. I want to know more from Yakrep what you thought about this. It's your first session on YouTube. I know it's not your first game ever. So what did you think about
You're
this
not.
4D
Yeah, I was-
roleplay style? The game.
I certainly like it. It felt much more fast paced than what I'm used to. It felt like I noticed that sometimes I kind of faded to the background a little bit, but that's just because I wasn't sure really what to inject at any point in time. But it seemed
Yeah.
like it was never for too terribly long. I
Mhm.
always had an opportunity to chime in when I felt like I needed to say something.
Yeah, and I felt like also you were good, even if didn't have anything to inject. It still felt like you were existing in the scene because you would do stuff like like digging into like the entrail, like the leftover stuff like that, right? You still like brought something that made you still present in the scene, right? In the mindscape. You didn't make yourself like we didn't forget about you. At least I didn't.
You didn't
My-
fade into the void.
My character T poses
Yeah.
in the default animation.
That's the thing I like the most. You guys were beautiful, taking turns narrating what you wanted to do, to the point of I wasn't even talking for like 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, you did. You
And I
were
was-
good on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add some details of what's happening without being intrusive. So you guys want to sniff around for clues, so I sprinkled them in here and there, because you are not like complete novices T-posing, doing nothing. But I wanted to allow for enough time to pass before details would show themselves,
Yeah.
There was a couple things that happened, and I received information, but I didn't know really what to do with it. Like the bark, for
Yes.
example.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the bark is thick. It's probably cultivated. Like,
Exactly.
okay.
So what? So what?
Yeah, Omelette,
Yeah.
Omelette would notice because you're standing
Yeah.
guard and
Mhm.
you're a druid lizard full.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Like
wasn't sure what
um,
you're. Sorry.
Sorry, what?
there was a moment. There was a moment, like, because I said, like, oh, become bird and fly, and like, I was going to interject, like, say something in character, but like, I kind of lost the beat because I don't know how far your shape shifting goes. Like, in your at best's
Yeah.
mind, you
Yeah.
can just turn whatever animal.
yeah, turn into a dinosaur and beat the Hydra. It's like
I was
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to
I mean,
I was trying to think of a way to in character like explain like I can't fly yet. But
Yeah.
I mean, other than saying something like, "Oh, I'm not coordinated enough to fly," or I don't know. It felt
You
like
know,
it
still
would
like
be.
it doesn't work like that.
yeah.
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 But,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, but I
I
think
think
it worked. Like you just say like I can, right? Just like that's that's fine.
Like,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, I lost the beat to like do a little, back and forth there. I was going to say something that didn't things pressed on.
Yeah.
For a little bit, I was a bit lost of. Okay, I want you guys to be in a forest. How do I give you clues? Every tree looks like a tree. Like you're not checking every tree for
Yeah,
a door.
that's the problem with wilderness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he
It's
said
just-
like, I will check the next trap, then I say it's like a good few dozen trees away, the second
Yeah.
trap, to give
Or-
you a sense of distance. Like it's not
Mhm.
this tiny little spot.
In the forest, there's also like you can there's a lot of like there's glade, there's brook, there's rock, there's like all kind of thing, right? There's a little
Yes.
clearing and stuff like that. That's also the kind
Land
of thing you can,
formations.
yeah, kind of thing that yeah, a rotten branch, a rotten tree like laying down on the ground, right? Those kind of thing that you can add if you want to add a bit of flavor, but it's also stuff that we can like 4D like interject, and we did too at some point, right? Just like
Yeah.
so that's also something we can do. Yeah. One thing I want to say, I don't think we give a shit about the fucking Horde child.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I
no, you don't.
it
No,
definitely seemed like one of those instances of it's essentially evil characters being given an opportunity to be good guys, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I'll defend myself. I'll defend my clan. That guy.
Fallout.
So
You've lost karma.
it's weird because I feel like, okay,
Minus reputation.
if I look at my own game, oh yes, the GM is trying to make them nice. Like
Yeah.
for myself, the plot point was there was a maturing ritual, and he
Yeah.
has not returned.
So he
this
failed.
is like
That's it.
he
Yeah.
failed, and I know
Life
what
goes on.
happened. I know
Yeah.
what happened, and I know like how I want it to play out, but it's completely irrelevant. You can
Yeah.
take it or leave it.
Yeah,
And
but
I have
but I
several
feel
other
like something like
things happening tangential to that to get something rolling, to have interactions happen.
it felt like you pushed it quite a bit, and even like like when the Hydra come and this arc child is still like living inside the mod, like
Yeah.
in of the Hydra, like it should have been dead and gone, right? Like forget about it, right? It's like those kind of like okay, you came with a plot point, which is fine. We're not
Karen
biting.
got knocked
We
out
don't
faster
care
than
for
the
it.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was kind of funny though. Like, because like
Yeah.
he kept bringing like the chat is waiting, the chat is like, and like with zero
Yes.
recognition that child is there, He's just doing their own thing. Like in retrospective, it was very funny. Like,
Yeah. But yeah.
I felt like the reveal of the Hydra took a little bit of more time than I was expecting. So we heard it in the distance, and then we started
Mhm.
approaching it, and then we continued to hear it in the distance, and we approached it some more, and then We saw trees
We're moving
falling.
about.
Yeah, we could have been surprised by it, especially like when people like were scurrying around trying to hide, and Karn was just like basically ignoring it.
No. Yeah. That was the whole thing. Like, if you all hide, all you see is a Hydra walking past you at some distance, like not directly towards you. And we could have had this Frodo scene hiding under the tree as a Knight Rider walks past, and then he just fucks up with the boy. Like, nobody gives a shit. I think that would have been hilarious and like a really cool scene too.
I don't know, but Kaharn throwing stones make up, like there was no way
Roll
it was gonna be
special
avoided.
one, right? Fucking trips over every branch in the forest. So, like, of course, the Hydra is gonna check out. Like, who's here? I'm hungry. I have one snack for the next day. I could go for another. Like, stashing it away in his fridge for later.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah, I might have. Should I have like advantage to this stealth roll in the forest? Maybe
It
in my ranger
depends.
stuff.
Your ranger does have some stuff.
Yeah,
Or
natural explorer for proficiency bonus doubled for intelligence and wisdom check when about terrain. No, don't get lost. No, I don't have anything for that. There you go.
yeah, there you go.
Odd.
It's only like if I move stealthily, I move at normal pace. But if I have nothing to do, I don't have any bonus to do a stealth check.
Yeah.
So there you go. If I can move stealthily, I'll move as fast as if I'm not.
Yeah.
But clearly I couldn't.
Yeah, you could have done everything, but with stealth activated, I guess.
Yeah.
But Karn chose not to. Like, this huge monster that can topple trees. I'm not hiding from that. I like that. Is that like an orc thing, or is that a Karn thing? I want to know.
Probably a bit of
Yeah.
both. Probably a bit of
Beautiful.
both. Probably like suffer from a bit of like overconfidence, right? Just like an arrogance, think they can take on
Yeah.
anything. Yeah. I don't know, that's the sort of thing,
Yeah.
right? When you play a new character, you kind of figure out who he is through play, right? You kind of have an idea and stuff like that. But
I
I did
didn't
get a good laugh out of me though when that basically all heads came up and Kaharn was like, "Yep, too many heads. We gotta go."
yeah,
I didn't even want to bring the Hydra. Like, the Hydra was like, I'll bring him into play like second session or third session as a
Oh, yeah.
bigger deal. But the way things played out, I just couldn't think of like how to get the elves here. They wouldn't react to what is happening right now. So,
What?
I have some ideas. So, but I don't see them like you noticing them in any ways. Like, I checked some of the roles. It's like, this is not a problem yet. I have the humans on my radar and the elves, because that's what we talked about in session 0.
Yeah.
And the Hydra as a moving force that is part of the world, because this is like the borderlands, right, where
if
civilization ends.
If you wanted to have like increase the pace a bit, right? Like at some point we're actively like looking for track to go try to find the way back to the human camp and stuff like that, right? And then we just got nothing, but also like we had some bad rolls, right? But then those are kind of stuff like that. That's
also a D&D thing. Like, do we just say you find the tracks because you found the trap? So that's a very good starting point.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also about like when you roll, when is like, is there like is there a trail, right? Is there a trail mark so the hunter can find back their trap, which hunter do, right? Just like we could have picked up and stuff like that or whatever, or just like, so those are the things that sometimes like if you, and I guess that's something what we were interested in, right? I want to fucking kill some elves or human or whatever, right? But in D&D, you always have this issue of like, well, there's the system there that say you should roll for those things, and then but then it's the D20, so it's very swingy, and our modifiers are very small too, right? Just you roll D20, and I got +2, right, or +1 when I do the wisdom kind of shit, which doesn't matter because I rolled 3.
And a failure is the cool thing doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Where in a different system, I would say a failure. I wanted you to allow yourself to narrate, but if I was the more controlling GM, I would say, oh yeah, the tracks lead off to the north, and you would just see them. But the failure is the humans spot you first before you spot them.
I definitely forgot about that. That we agreed that the players were going to narrate both successes and failures, and so there's a couple of times I rolled.
Oh yeah.
And then I didn't get any feedback, and because I didn't realize that, I guess if I'd have known oh, you succeed or something, then I guess I could have 4D'd oh, I see that there's some imprints of boot prints leading this way, and I follow that trail or something.
Yeah, make your pat yourself a bit.
I totally forgot.
I didn't have any success, I think. So no success.
120.
Yeah, I rolled a 20 or something. What was it on that? I rolled a 20.
On the death saving throw.
Yeah,
I hit on the floor, and then you're oh, I'm awake again.
Yeah. But yeah, that was something as well, because after I think the first one rolling was me when I climbed the tree, and then you said perception, and I rolled them. I'm like, wait, I don't know what's the difficulty. I don't know, So I guess I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tell you it's 11. I wasn't aware. I don't know if I passed or not.
Oh, you didn't tell us the AC of the Hydra, right? Or did you and
no.
I just insert? No.
It was a 15, but I didn't have a tool set up to show it on screen. So I just kept it to myself and told you hit or miss.
Yeah.
I went back to what? Yeah.
Yeah, you could have told us vocally a thing, and then because
remember
if you feel I just feel this for us, once we know, we can just go straight into rolling, something 3 attack, you can just roll and say and go straight to the description, right? Just roll your attack,
Absolutely.
with hit, with miss, sit
but
damage.
It was the pace was good, I think.
Yeah. Well, we managed to have
think we could
3 round of combat.
Yeah.
And it didn't take 45 minutes each. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think was it 20 minutes of combat?
About that, I think.
Was it? I don't think it was. I think it was 20 minutes. Was it that much?
I'm not sure.
The whole encounter,
definitely less than 30.
The Hydra shows up.
Well, do you count?
There was some time between.
Do you count with the running away and stuff like that?
I did. That's when my combat started for Rat. So
yeah, if you count the running away, yes, then maybe 20 minutes, yeah. But then we went away for a few rounds, right? And then we had a few rounds of actual
another
fighting.
thing. I was trying, I was not going for anything more meaningful than running away in the opposite direction, but you kept bringing it back to me. So okay, I guess I have to imagine this scene, say something just to keep the pace.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the end, that's all it is, right?
Anchoring,
both to give you a chance if you want to change your mind, but if you're not, then to solidify it and maybe.
It's because at the end there, the titles were changing. They're kind of winning. I knew that, but I kept thinking Rat Best doesn't know that. He's hearing the sound. He doesn't know if they're winning. If he had the knowledge, he would come back and kind of pretend that he helped the whole time, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah. I think I messed up describing the Hydra gurgling on its own blood. I should have just described the Hydra wincing, crying out, and then gurgling, and then silent. It stops. But its own blood, you have no idea what liquid it's gurgling on.
Yeah,
exactly.
like be a bit more neutral in the description.
And again, it was like too risky to like just have a peek. So like he's like, I'll check next day. Like if I see some corpses
But
there.
Check
I think he
tomorrow.
did good. I think he did good, though, Nicholas, and still coming up with stuff like different stuff, like like when you like say like, oh, I'm pushing your branch away, like I'm being whipped in the face, and at some point you go dig yourself in the trunk, right? And then at some point, like having like, oh man, this bastard is gonna fucking win. That's getting so upset that your boss is not gonna actually die. Yeah.
I wanted to ask. So technically, I never did a training session. I
Yeah.
kind of just
Oh, yeah.
did it live.
Going to the phone.
So I was wondering if you guys have any feedback for me, being a first time doing the role playing the hard way.
Well, I think it was good in general.
Mhm.
So you adhere to the rules of
Yep.
not out of character talk and keep everything inside. Like when you did the guidance, that was very hard to translate because we didn't.
Yeah.
It's the first time we don't know
Very
each
lost.
other's
Yeah.
spells too well.
Mhm.
So like now we know when you touch somebody and it gives off a faint glow. Okay, it's a guidance. 1d4 next time.
And I have a question
Absolutely.
though. Like, was Omelette silence a characteristic of the character, or was it you unsure like how to interject yourself into the round robin narrative thing? Because he was like a more quiet type, right? He is a more quiet type.
It's a little bit of both, but like when I was thinking about what I would do, oftentimes it didn't feel like there was any need to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Yeah, when it comes your turn, like if you sometimes when you don't have thing, like having like thing that your character does out of habits, right? Like little thing that we all have those things, right? People like fiddle with their stuff, right? Like twist their mustache, or like everybody that got. But finding those for your character, like sometimes give you just like kind of default option you can go back to, just saying I'm still existing there, and
Yes.
but I just don't have much to contribute to the scene, right? And
Yeah, I think stuff like you thump your tail on the floor watching
Yeah.
the leaves
Mhm.
fly up, or
You have a
you
tail?
lick your eyeball. It's like it doesn't. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
look, I
that-
always think of comedic things, but it can be something in character.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
sharpen your spear.
But I think you did very well, because like yes, you
Yes.
didn't break the rules of the role play, right? You didn't ask question out of
Yeah.
character. You blend in the mechanics. You just like roll your stuff when you need to and like move on to it. And not only that, but also like your character felt like a character, right? You felt like he had like a
Mhm.
personality and stuff like that, right? Like we had like this we can say like, oh, he was loyal, he was like a bit quiet, he was like competent, just like, thinking it out with his stomach often time, like just like those kind of thing, right? You can feel like you can feel the yeah, you could feel the character coming through, which is good.
Yeah.
There's
Like
Okay.
if you
one
compare to a
thing.
lot of like the if you compare to a lot of like the like when like when we watch like Crispy like Consulted Advice, like something I often say, like you watch those game for like 2 hours whatever, and like you cannot tell a single personality trait of the character that are displayed, right? Everybody
Yes.
feel
Right.
like they're sitting around a table because that's what the player are doing. This
You cannot
Yeah.
do a cool fan art of the character,
Yeah.
sorry.
There's like one point that I had like in my mind, but I'm not bringing it up during the session. Of course, it's anchoring yourself when it's your turn, adding a detail of where you are, like what place you are, like what position against the tree, like on the floor. Because I felt like the forest felt very similar because we didn't do a lot of anchoring.
Mm.
We
But
had
I
we
don't
had
know
a
if
lot of
that's-
red bastard anchoring, like into trees and everywhere.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played, so like I was extra mindful of that. I'm trying like, and I cannot let myself rust. But about the tree, I think I don't know. In my head, it's like its wilderness is pretty much the same thing, like in
Yeah.
a kilometer radius. Like it's
Yeah,
just trees and like that may be a rock. Like we could like bring up something more specific just to make it a bit different. But
without a like a point of interest or like a feature
Yeah.
to like frame yourself against, it's tough because like when there
And
was a
that,
tree,
yeah.
the lookout spot, I go to the lookout spot. I'm sitting in the tree, or I'm in our little makeshift shelter lean-to. Those are like locations you can anchor to, but otherwise, I'm in a forest.
yeah,
If a tree falls, nobody's there to hear it. Did it ever happen?
Yeah.
What did you think about the start? The toppled over tree upside down in the floor.
Oh, we have
As
those
we-
around here.
So I want to make sure I understood. So that does. At first, I wasn't sure if that marks the end of the territory that we already control, or it marks
Yeah.
the territory that somebody else's controls.
I assumed it was marking where ours still is. Like we're
That's
still
what I
within.
understood as well. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
so too. Like, so from the outside, it's a warning to people coming in, like this is orc
Yeah,
territory.
which I think is very dumb, by the way, because we're trying to hide. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, why would we do that? Like, we try to hide.
It
But
would be
maybe I was
hilarious if
already
the
a goblin,
goblin
like,
just said that. It's like, this is stupid. Everything about this is stupid.
because I would have said something if that was not the first time we saw, but like, it was kind of implied that, we know that spot, so why would I repeat that. But
Yeah.
I thought that, like,
Yeah.
why? It's like a big flag.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it's true, like at the beach around here, right? Like there's a part of the beach like that where there's a campground nearby, and they have like those reverse tree that are the top are planted in the
Really?
ground, and the
That's
roots.
a real thing.
Yeah.
Holy
Mm.
shit.
I'll take a picture at some point. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
driftwood tree. But yeah, next time I'm there. Now like it's probably gonna be a while because like it's hard to access there because there's too much snow. But
Yeah, I see.
I often go walk there with my dog. I'll take a picture.
Yeah,
Show
I
you.
thought that would be like, what would be the most orcish, like heavy metal thing to do
well,
to
The
scare
people
off
around
the
here are kind of
elves?
Put that
orcish.
tree upside down.
What? Yeah, what's the most
Maybe
brute force thing to show like
Mm.
how strong you are? We
skulls
fucking
on
dig up the
stakes or
whole tree,
something.
all the roots pulled up and then upturned like a massive scarecrow.
Yeah. There's a storm outside. The dog is going crazy. I don't know if you can hear.
There's another moment, like I had a hard
Oh.
time hearing the child's name. So it's like I don't want to ask, like in the first 2 minutes of the game, to you to repeat something because I didn't hear.
That's the thing too, right? When you gave me like the intelligence check, I didn't convey that information to anybody, but somebody picked up on
Yes.
that, right? I didn't I didn't
Oh.
fucking care. But then some
Yes,
people,
I know.
who was it?
Red
Some
Bastard
Warren?
was asking a question, and I think he ended up inferring something that you never mentioned.
Yeah.
But Red,
Did
you,
I?
you wanted
When
to
was
know
that?
what? I think you wanted to know what it said, but you said like
No, I asked Red because I cannot read, so I asked Red
Oh.
Bastard what it said.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I cannot read.
No, yeah, but I did say like someone went hunting and will be back. Like I said that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So you
No,
know
you
what I
said the
thought
name
was
too.
what I thought was great was Zonalar. You said that there was a howl of a wolf and then something bigger, and at that
Yes.
moment there was a dog in one of the two of you's back.
Yes.
Exact
Oh,
moment. I was like,
Yeah.
perfect.
we're breaching into 5D, guys. We're getting there.
We're
Yeah,
breaching
exactly.
the dimensions. It's blurry. It's getting blurry.
Yeah. The dimensional merge.
All right, we are over the time limit. Do you guys
Any-
want to add anything still?
No, we're any Calvin. Anything else to add?
Yeah,
I
I don't
might
know
have
if
had
I made
something, but
things
it's gone
harder
now.
by going by going a different way. It's because of the delay. I don't know. You go first, Jakob.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. If I had something, it's gone now. Sorry.
Sorry,
That
man. I could.
that's one thing. Like you mentioned a delay, right? Like we're that's like all over the world, literally game, right? It's like Brazil, Alaska, Germany, Quebec, right? Just like very spread out. So yeah, that's a bit of a challenge, right? Even the internet.
But it was mostly now, like since like the last few bits of the fight that I've been having like a really like 3 second delay. I did not notice anything before. I was going to mention though that I don't know if I made things harder by going a different way, because next session is gonna be 2 beats at the same time, but I think that'll be fine.
Who cares? Yeah, we'll
I
figure it out.
never,
Yeah, exactly.
I never intended for you guys to survive this.
No,
Like,
we almost did it.
No, yeah, I imagine like a Hydra. Like there's even even in D&D, I don't think there's a way like that we would a 3 party would survive, especially when there were 2. But yeah,
so the one thing I want to mention is like he has several heads and each head can attack. And I chose not to have every head attack by using the trees as an obstacle.
Yeah.
Did that feel like kitty gloves? Like was I being too soft on you guys, or did it feel dramatic and cool?
There was 4 head right at the start. Did I count right?
5 and 1 mouth was
I
full.
think it,
one. Okay, maybe that's why. Yeah.
one
You
mouth
still
was
got
full.
like us, you still attacked us with 2. So no, that doesn't feel like that doesn't feel kitty glove, especially like you're fighting against any Hydra and like and we don't have any fire on us, and we it doesn't seem that we have like a quick way to make fire. I do have a tinderbox, but like now like a rat bastard like rub some stick to make fire, right? So we're not gonna start a fire during combat to burn the Hydra's head, right?
Wow.
So there's basically
even
like
it's gonna be like a small flame anyway.
Yeah. Well, then you have to blow it up. Like it would take like minutes, right, to get a flame big enough to. Yeah. So
I have fire, but just not as a bear.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Like I love the part when you turn to Kaharn to say, actually, I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I'm a bear.
Yeah, I caught myself.
I was waiting for you to say, and I say, roar, or something like that.
Yeah. No. All right, I'm gonna end up the stream then.
Yes.
And we'll pick that back up in 2 weeks, right?
In Fortnite.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is gonna be on the 15th. There you go. Oh yeah, it's the first March 1st today. Oh, we're on March today. There you go.
Yeah.
We survived February.
At which point we will find out what happens with the orc.
Not quite.
He will die, obviously, in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, spoilers. Jeez.
Oh, okay.
We can have a Dragon Ball catch up next episode.
All right. Thank you, Zonara, for that game. Thank you guys for coming to play with us. Thank you for people that join us live in chat. And thank you for people that are going to watch on the replay. Let us know down in the comment below what you thought, your impressions, stuff like that. And looking forward for the next one. Take care. Bye.
Bye.